Alright, thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day, man.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see, I'm in New York. I'm back for the other side of American Airlines Flagship First Product, making my way across the country to Los Angeles. Well, not quite LA, but Orange County. But before even thinking about the destination, I need to make my way to JFK Airport in Queens. This can easily be done by taking the Long Island Railroad to Jamaica, Queens. It's really easy to navigate as it shows on the departure screens whether or not the trains will be stopping at Jamaica Station. From there, it's a quick few minute walk in the station to the air train. This makes stops at all the terminals, the main rental car station, and a few parking lots. What's pretty neat about the air train is that it uses the same rolling stock as some of the SkyTrain cars in Vancouver, a local staple of getting around the city. American and other oneworld partners use Terminal 8 at JFK. I was running a bit short on time, so I just went to the first available check-in desk that didn't have a lineup. Regardless of that, it wasn't very busy here to begin with. The check-in staff were very welcoming and got me on my way fairly quick. The last time I flew out at JFK was in 2014 out of Terminal 7, when Cathay Pacific was there. Since then, times have changed. Cathay stopped doing their YVR to JFK route and has since moved to Terminal 8. This terminal is a major step up from the tiny and cramped Terminal 7. I love the artwork around here and how spacious it is. Although a majority of it was leased out for the new Lightyear movie, it did not convince me to see it. Walking to one end of the terminal, I find my aircraft for today's flight. This is an 8-year-old 321T. That's the aircraft identifier that American uses for these unique aircrafts. These are specifically used on US transcontinental flights between JFK and Boston, to Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Orange County, Santa Ana.
Enjoy your flight.
Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm good and you.
Good, thank you.
Enjoy your flight.
Perfect, thank you.
First class passengers are invited to board in Zone 1 out of 9. I'm not too sure at this point why there's that many zones, but regardless of that, here's my seat for today, 1A. This 321T has a whopping 102 seats versus the 240 found on Wizz Air. It has 10 seats in first, 20 in business, and another 72 in economy. If you're a little bit confused, this is the same seat used on the business class of many American airline wide-bodies. I'll get into that a bit later. Waiting at the seat was full bedding, an amenity kit, a sleek black menu, and these amazing Bang & Olufsen noise-canceling headphones. I'll get into the details of the seat when we're in there.
American Airlines Flight 976 will serve out to Orange County. It's a nice smooth ride today. Once we're airborne, looking at a 5-hour and 16-minute flight. I'd like to remind you that the flight attendant acts as my representative in the cabin. Failure to follow flight crew instructions is a violation of federal law.
Breakfast is served on this flight, and it's pretty unique to have 4 different options to choose from. Unfortunately, they have limited quantities of each meal. We made an on-time push off the gate and made a long taxi towards the runway.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, very pleasant good morning. This is American Airlines Flight 976, now with non-stop service to the Orange County Airport. Today our flying time should be approximately 5 hours, 15 minutes at a planned cruising altitude of 32,000 feet.
We know you have lots of choices, so thanks for choosing American. We're happy to be your airline. And remember, seatbelts should be fastened whenever you're seated, just in case of unexpected turbulence. To get us on.
I will mention that this was recorded shortly after the US removed mandatory mask usage on all domestic flights. I kept mine on till the aircraft started its engines, so fresh oxygen can be passed through the onboard air filters. Look, I don't argue with people's choices to wear masks or not. I only put one on when required or when I feel uncomfortable around large groups of people. It doesn't bother me too much to wear one. This flight runs at a solid 5.5 hours, crossing the continental US. After that beautiful climb out of JFK, here's the seat. This Collins Aerospace seat is one of the earlier iterations. This retractable armrest is a lot smaller than the newer models, but it actually provides more space for the bed. The coat hook on the seat is of a good variety, and the IFE swings out with a good amount of force. On the other side of the seat, there is 2 small shelves for storage. Casper bedding is provided. This is some of the best blankets I've used while flying. The pillow and a throwover blanket is separate. The counter is very large, but you're pretty far away from the window. There's one more storage area to the right that is larger and includes a universal outlet. A bottle of water and an amenity kit is provided at your seat. Behind the shelf is an IFE remote, seat controls, reading lamp, and a panel that includes a headphone jack and USB outlet. The seat itself still holds up after 8 years. It's very large and comfy, but there's one downside to the seat specifically. I'll get to that a little bit later as well. Like the older Collins seats, the tray table slides from the side. It's still very strong and sturdy, and you can leave your seat while it's deployed. This is something newer business class seats tend to fail on. I haven't got one of these in a while, a hot towel. The breakfast meal service shortly started after. A fluffy biscuit and a fruit platter was to start. The lime wedge takes it an extra mile. Having 4 meal options is good, but that just means that there's limited options, especially for 10 people. I opted for the American breakfast, as a smoked salmon frittata was gone by the time it came to me. Despite the limited options, it was still very good. The times that I've flown American, the breakfasts have been the best to date. As per usual, 320 lavatories are nothing to cry home about, but the finishes were pretty nice. It's a nice change up. The Transcon amenity kit is fairly basic and carries the essentials, but I'm pretty lucky to even get one considering the duration of this trip. Despite American having really good IFE options, it wasn't working for me the entire trip, even after resetting it multiple times. I really wanted to try it out, but you know what, that's no big deal. Luckily my tablet was loaded with movies, and you can stream movies and TV shows to your devices from the onboard Wi-Fi. As I had a pretty late night, I pretty much slept through the entire flight, besides the meal. The bed is comfy, but there's a solid 2-inch gap between the bottom cushion and the back when it's fully flat. This was the first time that I've seen that in this seat, but luckily I barely even noticed it. I woke up over Nevada, where a cheese and fruit platter with a fresh baked cookie was served. Now come on, you can't go wrong with a warm cookie now. So to wrap it all up here, American uses this seat on their wide bodies, but it's described as business, while on the 321T, it's first class. The business class seat on this plane is 2-2, with no direct aisle access from the window, but it still lays flat. This is actually the same one on Gulf Air, and that was a pretty good seat. To be honest, I would definitely not describe this seat as first class, compared to what other first class products are on the market. This is catered to the high premium demand between New York and the West Coast. Where I felt it actually shined was in the soft product itself. The catering was great, bedding amenities were excellent, noise cancelling headphones were unreal, and the amenity kit was a nice touch. The service was extremely attentive and personal. I've typically always had good interactions with American flight attendants. Don't get me wrong here, I still think it's a good seat, especially for a 321, which is a first. I just don't think it stacks up to a true first class product, especially when a good business product is on the same flight. I wouldn't hesitate to try this again if there was a good deal available. It was definitely a unique experience. I'm especially excited to try out the 321 XLRs once when I get a chance in the future. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.
Have a great day. Cool.